Okay, so before we get into the video, I just wanted to highlight something. My YouTube channel hit 3,000 subscribers. So I want to say thanks for subscribing and thanks for watching my videos. I appreciate every single one of you, and I'm going to keep them coming, so stay tuned. So just to get that out of the way. Okay, now going into the trade recap. Now this is going to be an opening range break on Boeing. More specifically, it's going to be a 1 minute opening range break. Now these are trades that I don't take very often, but I feel a little bit more comfortable taking them when a stock has caught momentum. And recently, just looking at the chart of Boeing, it's caught some Moomoo. This was really beat up on the daily. It's reclaimed some of the shorter term moving averages. And on this specific day, which was Monday, yesterday, the 5th, just to highlight some of the levels that I was trying to trade around. So on top of noticing that it caught some momentum, which I love to trade, I also like to have key levels that I'm trading around. And then I like to match that with some sort of pattern or a quick opening range break. So the levels on Boeing, pre-market high was 169.37. I have 36 here because sometimes the interactive brokers, the lines, they will go not to the exact cent, but they'll be like a cent off. So 169.37, and then prior day's high, 169.78. I'm a big fan of trading around pre-market highs and prior day's highs, and I like to focus predominantly to the long side. So now just to get into it. So what did Boeing do? Off the open, here's the open, it's quick, had a very quick move higher. And not only prior day's high, but also 170 was an area of interest just because it was a whole number. So in my mind, I was thinking above 170, just looking left, I think that there's room on this chart to 175. So now it was just about waiting for an area to possibly go long. And like I've mentioned before, I normally don't take 1 minute opening range breaks, but when they line up, I will give them a shot. So as you can see what I'm looking at right here, very big bullish 1 minute candle off the open. It broke pre-market high. It broke prior day's high and the whole number 170 above that has some size being offered. And I figured we get through that. Maybe there's going to be that momentum pop. And that's all I'm looking for. So I take a pretty quick entry. So as you can see right there, big 1 minute candle. And now I'm expecting that 170 to break and hopefully get that quick move in which I can start thinking about taking profit. So I end up getting long right around 169.90s. And I know that if this drops low of day, right around that 169, I got to get out. So risking just less than a point. That's kind of my area of interest. And this pulls in a little bit. So this just goes to show sometimes these don't work. They just don't work right away, but still want it to work very fast. Sometimes it's not going to work in the first 10 seconds. And you see my mouse. I hover the mouse right over the sell button. So it either goes really quick or the moment it drops out, I just get out of the position. Get out of the position. Spreads on the options are tight, so I feel good about what's going on. Down a little bit on it, but nothing crazy. If it gets through 170, I think it's going to have that momentum pop. Whole number, a lot of liquidity, just watching the tape, watching the offers. I want to see them keep stepping up. It's getting tight, above prior day's high, going up to 170. And when it goes to 170, I am now looking, I want that instant gratification. I want this to go fast now because it pulled back a little bit. Through 170, tape starts to speed up, 30s, into 40s, into 50s. That was just a price alert from something else going on. Into 50s, into 60s, tape starting to speed up. I was trying to hold this into possibly 171. And I'm noticing that sometimes on these 1 minute opening range breaks, that quick 50, 60, 70 cent move, I'm not taking it. I'm trying to give it another minute, and it usually ends up pulling back. A little bit of size there that flashed at 170.60, and the tape started to slow down a bit. So mouse is hovered over the sell button, and I'm getting ready to say, okay, this pulls in. I just got to get out. And I got out right there. So for me, this trade is a very fast trade. It's even faster than I already normally take profits because it's so quick off the open. A 1 minute opening range break, that's a very short term, very fast pattern. So I am very short term and very fast to take profits. And just to rewind that again, so Boeing had that nice push through 170. if this had some serious momentum, I wanted to see this keep going. And it put in a little bit of a topping tail right around 170.50, pulled in, comes back to that 170, which is what I wanted to see hold. So I got out. I got out of the trade. Funny enough is this ended up rolling over and it ended up closing the gap. So this is a great example of showing that 1 minute opening range breaks for me, I like to trade them very fast. It's a momentum scalp off the open. That's all I'm looking for. I'm not looking for an all-day move. And 2, when it doesn't go quick or the tape starts to slow down or something, something like a topping tail on the candle, and it maybe gets below a certain area that I really wanted to see it stay above, I just get out. And this ended up closing the gap. So had I not got out and I let emotions take over, which I have totally been guilty of doing before, I would have been involved in a pretty nasty pullback. And this would have turned into a little bit of a small win, right? It's always good to make money, smaller win, and it would have been a huge loser. So that's why I'm a big fan of scalping, because I try to take the data as it comes to me rather than just holding things and then getting stubborn and not making quick decisions. That's why scalping it works great for me, but it also may not work for a lot of others because it's seriously fast, quick decision making. And if not seriously fast at making decisions, can be involved in nasty pullbacks. And that's when, a position that you're green in and that I'm green in can turn red really quick. And sometimes things can get ugly if you're, a deer in headlights type of situation. And that's why I'm super fast. And that's also why when the spreads are tight on the options, I'm using market orders. So it's buy and sell. I'm not playing games with limit. I want it to go fast. If it doesn't go fast, just get out of the trade to avoid some serious pain. And then that was it. That was the only trade that I took yesterday because I'm a big fan of trying to take advantage of those opportunities off the open. That's where my highest win rate comes from. And then when I start to continue to trade, I can get into trouble. So even though that is not a big number, and I obviously want more, knowing that I can tend to get into trouble the more that I trade, I just accepted the fact that Boeing did not go as far as I wanted. I did not make as much money as I wanted, and I called it a day. And that's been a big difference in my trading. Less is more. And that was the Boeing recap. Once again, I appreciate everybody who subscribed and watches the videos. And if you haven't yet, feel free to like and subscribe because there's going to be a lot more content like this coming. And until the next video, later.